Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and we have the second part of our Guide to Grind series featuring the Leopard 1, and we are going to be featuring Tier 8, 9 and of course the Leopard 1 itself. So the first replay we're on mines with the Indien-Panzer here, and the equipment we're running on the Indien-Panzer is optics, camo net and gun rammer. And on the perks we've got the usual born leader, rapid reload, 6th sense, steady aim, silent driving, situational awareness, run and gun, snapshot and trap mechanic. So trap mechanic sort of being the last perk I would pick. I wasn't running a full crew on this, but that is essentially what I would fill the slot if I had it available. And yeah, we're on mine, so we're top tier, which is really good, and I decided to come up to the right hand side of the hill. We're able to get shots in on tanks as they cross, and luckily we're taking out a Charioteer, which is the dangerous tier 8 tank. Now we're coming over to this little sort of nook and cranny here on the right hand side of the middle here, because this is the perfect chance to get cross shots as well as shots at stuff on the back. You can see we've got shots on multiple angles of tanks. Now really, I would say, I mean look, you can use hold down heavies here, but I've chosen the opportunity to sort of use the mobility, or the good mobility that the Indien-Panzer has, to get over here. Now this tank has some really nice alpha damage. It has had sort of a buff a little while ago to the alpha damage. I think it was 260 or 280 previously. It's actually now 300 average damage, so it had an increase in damage not so long ago. And the 300 damage though it does now is actually really quite nice. Naturally, it's had a nerf to the reload, and I think possibly to the accuracy, although don't quote me on that. And can't remember when the update was where this took place, so haven't had a chance to look at the notes and actually sort of be able to give you the accurate information, but I definitely know it had a reload nerf, that's for sure, as with anything that has an alpha increase. Just not sure if the accuracy got touched. But on that, like I say, it's got brilliant DPM, it's got a nice aim time, good accuracy, and 10 degrees of gun depression as well. The only thing with the Indien-Panzer is it doesn't have any armour, and unlike the VKs, which you saw at tier 7 and tier 6 in the part 1 series of this Guide to Grind, this doesn't have the angles of the boxy armour to deflect shots. So it's got a tiny bit of turret armour, but nothing really to properly rely on. It's got sort of that big cupola that sticks out that usually, if you aim for, you're going to penetrate without too much problem. So yeah, it can be a little bit vulnerable bottom tier, but do you know what? This brilliant mobility kind of makes up for it. And yeah, do you know what? I was very pleasantly surprised. It's been a long time since I played the Indien-Panzer. I actually bought this back to do this Guide to Grind series, so I haven't played it since, I don't know, probably about 5-6 years ago was the last time I played it, and I've actually been very, very pleasantly surprised at how good this was. I don't remember it being this good. But saying that, it's had buffs and you know, different changes along the last 4 or 5 years, so yeah, I'm seeing the best part of the Indien-Panzer, to be honest, as we get YOLO bodice Kirovets, which we're hoping we can maybe take out and get our top gun. We've got 5 kills here, but unfortunately the KV-5 picks up the kill and the enemy VK gets taken out by the Barracuda, bringing an end to that replay. So we come top of the board with 4.6k damage. We got 5 kills, 288 assists, a little bit blocked as well, which is nice. Only picking up the first class, but being a tier 8 game, kind of suspected that would be the case. Maybe if I got the kill on that Kirovets, that may have got me the ace tanker, I'm not sure. But all the same, a nice, decent game, and a real nice, pleasant surprise in how good the Indien-Panzer is. It's definitely one I would certainly keep hold of in this day and age. So looking at the PTA now, which is the tier 9, and you've got optics, caminet and gun ram, exactly the same as the Indien-Panzer. And on the perks, I've gone for a bit more of a camo setup. So I've gone for Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Steady Aim, Situational Awareness, Run and Gun, Camouflage Expertise, Snapshot and Muffled Shot. You could actually drop the Muffled Shot if you wanted to for Silent Driving if you prefer that perk. Silent Driving is quite a useful perk to have. But I've gone for Muffled Shot, and yeah, the PTA, it's got very good view range, it's got good camo, it's a very stealthy tank. You've got that nice low silhouette as well, which is good, which helps the camo, helps be able to sort of peak ridge lines without sort of the fear of you haven't got a big turret sort of to be shot at. Don't get me wrong, it has absolutely zero armor whatsoever. So do not rely on the turret armor. It does have some weird sort of angles on the upper plate, which you can see there, which you can get some really weird odd bounces off of it, which is quite nice. It's got nice ammo mix, obviously APCR and heat, which is really quite handy. It's got very good heat pen at 330 millimeter penetration on those rounds. Good mobility, like I've mentioned. 10% fire chance, which is really nice. And yeah, it's got some decent alpha damage as well now, because again, this was buffed along with the Indien-Panzer and obviously the Leopard 1 when that had its buffs and changes. So it's benefited quite a lot. This is going to be probably an unpopular opinion, but I actually prefer it before the buff more than I do after the buff. I think the alpha buff has actually made the accuracy slightly derpy. Because obviously the accuracy and the reload time had to have a little bit of a negative effect to compensate for that alpha buff. But yeah, it just doesn't feel as accurate as before. That might just be me, I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. It's got 8 degrees of gun depression, which is 2 degrees less than the Indien-Panzer. Which, okay, is not the end of the world, it's still workable, but you obviously want as much gun depression as possible. And yeah, as I mentioned, no armor, it's made of paper, so when you come up against tier 10s like the Avery, like the Type 5, like the Death Star, anything that basically has a massive gun or sort of fires predominantly HE rounds, it's gonna hurt. So you need to bear that in mind. I really do play this as a support tank, a little bit of a sniper role as well, not by no means sort of camping, but I sort of tend to play it a little bit more further back than sort of up the front lines that you could with other mediums as such. And just because you've got the good mobility, again, it sort of works well on the flanks. You can move about and get around the map with ease, and obviously use your good view range to spot up, and also the good concealment as well to keep out of sort of being spotted by enemy tanks. So there we go. That's sort of the rundown, or my sort of opinion on the PTA. So we're on Swamp here, and it's not been too bad a game. We managed to get a shot into that light tank, which is handy. The wheelie lights, which can be really annoying at times. We're up to 1700 damage with 1400 assist, so not a bad start to the game. It's pretty even as well. It's 11-all. Now I'm going to take out this 60 TP. Because coming up here, we know sort of our rear is secure. Majority of the tanks are on the 1-2 line and at the back here, so I know I can sort of move up to this ridge line without getting shot at. I'm also sort of, I know I've got sort of support as well, so I know if I sort of got if I got rushed, then I could have some cover. Again, I'm gonna sort of move up here and gonna try and see if I can get some shots into these tanks that are sitting up on this ridge, which is such a normal place for a lot of enemy tanks to be sort of placed at. Trying to see if I can finish off that TS60, but unfortunately he is turtling up and using his turret armor to good effect. So I was going to try and see if I could potentially sneak a shot into the Centauro, but he's not giving us a shot. Now the TS60 has fired and we've managed to absorb his shot. So going to try and see if I can get the kill shot, but unfortunately I just hit the TS60's track and don't quite get that right. However, I flicked over to the heat rounds and I do manage to get a shot into the side of him, picking up that kill. Just unfortunate, I would have liked to have taken him out a little bit quicker there, because I spent a lot of time focusing on that TS60, and unfortunately the game has kind of flipped on its head, and we're finding that, you know, the enemy team are starting to lose numbers. So we need to get in and we need to try and squeeze the damage as quickly as possible. See this Malsham, which is on some good amount of health there. So I may well be able to get over and get some shots in. However, I can see this Vigilante and I'm thinking I want to get rid of that guy, because the Vigilante is an absolute nightmare tank. Unfortunately, I blunder my shot massively, like an absolute spoon, and unfortunately I get hit by the E4, or the pretty much near dead E4. And yeah, that's not ideal. Not ideal. I should have, like, actually, if I was going to properly overpeak that, should have at least aimed rather than just fumble a shot and then get hit for God knows how many hit points, because, you know, E4. So that was silly play on my part, and I'm sort of down to a one shot on the E4 now. I need to be careful in the Malsham. Malsham could high roll and one shot me. I'm trying to go for this EBR now, just to get this, you know, EBR out of the game, because this EBR is going to be an absolute pain. The EBR decided he was going to try and focus on the FV, probably because he knew he could pen that tank all day long, and obviously it could one-shot him. I was wanted to sort of peek over on the E4, but I was worried about the Malsham sort of high rolling. But now the Malsham gets taken out, and now the E4 shot taken out on RFE. It gives us the window of opportunity to move in and squeeze in the shot, picking up our 5th kill of the game. And there we go. We get the win there with the PTA, and come top of the board with 5 kills, just over 3.3k damage with just under 1800 assists. Only the first class, not a very big damage game, so expected not to get an ace on that. But yeah, just highlighting how good the PTA is. And actually, to be fair, again, one of my favourite mediums in the game. I've had plenty of battles in the PTA, and yeah, I've found it phenomenal. But moving on to the encore now, which is the Leopard 1 and the final tier in the grind. And we're on Erlenberg here, and you can see we've got exactly the same equipment layout as the PTA and the Indien-Panzer. And on the perks, the same as the PTA basically. Yeah, just another camo crew predominantly set up to make this as stealthy as possible. I'm platooned up with my good friend Ben here. So Ben is playing, I can't even remember what TD he was playing. I'm pretty sure we only played this game the other day, so I should know, but yeah, got a mind, like I said. But anyway, Ben's playing a TD of some sort, and he's going to be coming this way to support us. We opted to go for this side. It's actually Team Destruction, and I wanted to get here because I knew there was going to be lots and lots of opportunities to get shots off. And we do poke and we do get spotted, but we've managed to spot up 3 or 4 tanks in this position. We've backed off, we've lost our spot, and we get a shot straight into the Manta, setting him on fire, which is fantastic. Hey, it's nice to get fire to be some extra damage in the bag, but also getting a shot into that Mantis. Mantis is sort of quite a strong medium tank and spotter, so it's good to try and put that guy down to as little hit points as possible. We get a shot into the Stritz bomb, don't have to worry about that guy being in siege mode, because we've got the overmatch on that armour and we're going to penetrate the SCRV all day long. The UDES then pokes, we get a shot into the track, putting him in place. We pick up some track assist there. Now the Leopard 1 just has, like I say, excellent mobility, so we've been able to get here early doors and rack up the damage. It's got really good view range and concealment, But the party piece on this tank, as I've said before in previous video on this, is the gun. It is an absolute laser, and the buff on this tank, there's not many buffs I can think of in the past couple of years that have really transformed the tank. Perhaps the grill was transformed when that had a buff, but I would have to say the Leopard 1 is equally another tank that has really benefited from the buff, but it's just changed it in a way where it's just made it really strong, and it's actually become, I think, you see them a lot more in battles now, whereas before they were sort of here or there. I think they were a little bit overshadowed by the American medium tanks as such, and perhaps sort of like your Batchats and your Murats as well. But the Leopard 1 has sort of been back into the floor now, and it's a very strong tank, and I think it's very it is in the current meta. So yeah, it's a decent tank, laser light gun. It's got excellent shell velocity. In fact, probably one of the highest in the game at the moment, I'd say. I think it's like 1600, 1700 meters per second on its premium rounds. So yeah, what's not to like on that? You've got 9 degrees of gun compression with 420 alpha on the gun, so really nice alpha for this gun. And yeah, like I say, you've just got phenomenal accuracy. So sort of on the downsides of it, really, I guess, this used to have heat shells, which have now changed to APCR. I don't have too much problem with that because I do like APCR, but it actually has less penetration than the PTA, believe it or not, on its premium rounds. It's obviously got no armor, so again, you have to be careful when you're sort of playing in tier 10 lobbies against Avries, Terrans, anything that basically holds a lot of high alpha, because they can do a hell of a lot of damage onto you. The turret's a little bit larger in sort of a silhouette wise as opposed to the PTA. I think the PTA sort of looks more like a pancake, and so you're a bit lower down, you're not as vulnerable, whereas like say the Leopard 1, you do have that little bit of vulnerability more when you peak. It's a bit taller, so that turret is going to sort of, there's a bit more to shoot at basically if you peak. But the beauty is you can snap with this tank. You really can snap. So you can poke ridge lines quickly, and you can get those shots off kind of without aiming. I mean, I don't like to sort of say not aim at stuff, but with the Leopard 1, it just has that, really does have that good accuracy where you can kind of do that. You can just snap your shots without aiming and they'll pen. So yeah, it's a fantastic medium, and it's one of my favorites. Aesthetically, I think it just looks, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful looking tank as well. It's beautiful in real life as well. I've seen this close up at the Bovington Tank Museum in Dorset. If you've never been, please do go. It's a tanker's dream basically. Neighbour that loves this game will absolutely fall in love with Bovington, because it's a brilliant place where you can see all these tanks that you play close up in real life. So yeah, aesthetically it looks nice, and yeah, just play style wise, it's a really phenomenal tank and very strong as well, as we're demonstrating here, which we just go and pick up our 5th kill of the game on that BZ. And now we're going to go in on this Stritz Farm 103B, trying to get the side of him, so we know we're going to pen the side. We won't penetrate the front of that tank, which was fine HE earlier, by the way, just because if you pen the Cupola with HE, you will actually penetrate it. But we do get round the side. We put a shot in for our 6th kill, which gives us a top gun. And brings us a win and a victory. So we come top of the board with 6 kills, 5.1k damage. I think we picked up 1200 assists there, which is quite nice. I think the majority of that was track assistance. Only the first class, believe it or not, which I think in the old days that may well have been an ace, but the ceiling for an ace tanker on this is sky high because so many people play it. and yeah, you have to have some real decent damage games to get the ace in this. Credit to Ben as well for giving us support. You played well in the Object 263, so yeah. As always, guys, thank you for watching, and yeah, if you did like the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. It always does help. And as always, I'll catch you next time.